Did you know that at the time of this recording, Eldegoss here in Pokemon Unite is the second most picked Pokemon by the top 100 players in the game? Right behind Lucario. So what we're going to do today is show you how Eldegoss works, the skills, the stats, and some tips on how to use them, so that maybe you can understand a little bit more as to why Eldegoss is so good. So we start off as a little Gossifleur here, and we have Leafage and Synthesis as our first two starter skills. What Leafage does is you spit out some leaves, you go and what's really cool about Leafage is that if you hit it just right on the double A-Palms here, you can hit both of the A-Palms, which could be really nice for clearing these guys out right away. And then the second skill we have here is called Synthesis, and what this does is it heals you and all your teammates around you for a small amount of health. Now what's really interesting is that this skill is based off your special attack, so if I were to go just to level 4, you'll see that we had like 430 before. Well, suddenly that 430 is going to go all the way up to 517. It's a big climb. It's because there's a huge special attack boost for Eldegoss once they evolve. Now let's move on to our first two skills here, which are Leaf Tornado and Cotton Guard. And we got Leaf Tornado at level 4, and we got Cotton Guard at level 6, so keep those numbers in mind. And also we get our Unite move at level 9. And so let's start with Leaf Tornado here. So what Leaf Tornado does is you go and you spit out a big tornado. And the amount of damage it does is about 12-15 if you hit it while it's going. However, if you were to hit it more towards the end, what you'll see is we should get more damage out of that. We should get an extra tick at the end. So ba-bum, and then you see where the tornado's actually hanging out for a little bit. That's about 25% of the value that it was out of that 12-15 that we had. So what's pretty cool about this is it's a big tornado, meaning it can hit a lot of things. So if I spit it at these bees here, you'll see we do big damage to those bees, and then that final bee that was stuck in that tornado, he actually took an extra hit. But not only does this skill allow you to go ahead and do damage over a big area, it does something else that's really, 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 really cool. So here's Eldegoss not on Leaf Tornado. Here's Eldegoss on Leaf Tornado. Woo! So it gives you a big speed boost to kill not only for you, but whoever on your team walks on it. And something to keep in mind with that speed boost is that you can just touch this pathway and then back off of it, and you'll keep that speed boost for a bit. Here, take a look. So this happens, I touch it, and then I'm still fast over here for a little bit. You'll see it eventually slows down. So if you see an Eldegoss, and frankly, I feel like that's going to be the big thing with this video. I think people see Eldegoss all the time, and they're like, oh, Eldegoss, that's cool. But they don't really understand all the things they can do. Or if there's an Eldegoss on your team, you don't really know how to make the most out of what that Eldegoss has to offer. Which is why I think Eldegoss is a lot more common at higher ranks than it is at lower ranks, because higher ranks just understand Eldegoss better, so they utilize Eldegoss better when they aren't Eldegoss. So, to that note, when you have this, you can touch this and you can go woo, and you can go catch people, and heck, let's go ahead and combo this up. That speed boost is huge for chasing people down and capitalizing on somebody else's mistakes. And, I mean, if you want to, you can also use it to run away. You can use it to get to the next objective very quickly. You can use it for all sorts of things that you can imagine speed being useful for, and you can throw it through walls. And one other cool thing about Leaf Tornado that you may or may not have known, I think this is more like trivia, but if you manage to clear Rotom, what you can do is you see Rotom gets a speed boost. Get going, buddy, hop right in there. So that could be kind of nice if you really want to force Rotom into the point before the enemy gets a chance to get over there in case they're a little slow getting up there. You can force Rotom right into their point. It's a cute little thing you can do. And the difference between Leaf Tornado and Leaf Tornado Plus is that Leaf Tornado Plus causes people to miss their basic attacks. So you see these bees hitting me here? Well, if I hit them with Leaf Tornado Plus, you start seeing miss right above my head. That's because they're missing. That's what Leaf Tornado Plus does. Not sure there's too many other skills in the game that currently do that. But now on to Cotton Guard. So what Cotton Guard does is you see this big area of effect. Me and any of my teammates that are within this area are going to be affected by Cotton Guard. And what Cotton Guard does is it creates a shield. And you can see the shield as an animation around Eldegoss here. And once the shield is done, you get healed. And that heal is based off of how much shield you had left over. So you see that 555 I just had? Well, let's go down here to the bees, and what you'll see is that's not going to be 555 anymore. So come here, bees, hit me up. So they're going to hit me up a little bit, and then the heal is now 361. So I lost damage, so that means that my shield is not going to heal me for quite as much. That shield is also based off of your special attack value. So if you use things like the special attack specs or the wise glasses to raise your special attack, that means that your shield is going to be larger. The difference between Cotton Guard and Cotton Guard Plus is that Cotton Guard Plus gives you a little bit of a speed boost. So here I am, and now here I am on Cotton Guard Plus. So you can really get it moving. And not only did you see the shield around us, but you actually saw the animation from the back end side of Eldegoss. You see the little coming out? That means that's our speed boost. So if you go ahead and you use Leaf Tornado and then this, you are really flying at them. I think the speed is really just the big thing that people love so much about Eldegoss. I mean, there's a few things about Eldegoss that are great, but that speed and allowing you to really pick when things happen because you can determine where you're going to be more than the enemy can, that is such a huge deal. Real quick before we continue with the other skills here, we have a whole channel dedicated to Pokemon Unite called Pokemon Unite Guides by SwingPoint. If you're already watching over there, thank you so much, but if you're on SwingPoint, go check it out. Just Pokemon Unite content. I know I'm uploading other stuff onto SwingPoint now, so if you just want the Pokemon Unite stuff, go check it out over there. Or if you want exclusive Pokemon Unite stuff, go check it out over there. So with that, let's continue the video. So let's move on to Pollen Puff, Pollen Poof. So what it does is throw out a puff, a poop, and it'll explode. And there's a bunch of different things that happen with that explosion. So one is that you can damage enemies. And what you'll see is poof, it'll explode. Now that damage over time, you saw that tick, 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 tick. That's because we have Pollen Puff Plus. That's what happens when you get the upgrade. The other thing that can happen is that you can be healed, including yourself. Everything within the area of effect is either going to be damaged or healed based on if it's an enemy or an ally. So I can walk up to it and be healed, and it heals for quite a bit. You see that, about 1,300 health. That's nothing to scoff at. So if you get a big group of your teammates together, everybody's getting a big heal. Something else you might have noticed is that I can carry it around. Your teammates can carry it around, and the enemies can carry it around. So if you want to, you can put it on yourself and be like, haha, I'm gonna hurt you. And you can also do it with your teammates. You could be like, haha, I'm gonna heal you. And the other thing that happens with Pollen Puff Plus is that you take reduced damage while the Pollen Puff is attached to you. So if you take a peek here, damage received reduced. And in case you're wondering how much this reduction is, it's about 20% according to Unite DB. Now, something I recommend with Pollen Puff is to go into your settings and turn off aim assist, because you'll see here, I cast Pollen Puff and it goes straight to the target, and then I can move it around freely. No big deal. Now, part of the problem if you have aim assist on is sometimes it gets a little sticky, and that can be very annoying. If you have aim assist, which I believe is turned on by default, that can go ahead and be very, very, very hard to use. So I would go in here and just turn this off. Get used to playing without aim assist because it's going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. And now let's move on to Cotton Spore here. And I never see people use Cotton Spore, so this is actually kind of fun to cover this. So what Cotton Spore does is you have this big area of effect, and there's a few things happening within this area of effect. So let's just use the skill to take a look. So you charge up a lot of cotton, and then wham, you hit the enemy. And that damage is 1332, which is pretty low, but you'll also notice that there's that knock up and then that stun that goes woo, woo, woo. So that can cancel out a skill or a Unite move if you time it very, very well. Other things going on with Cotton Spore, what you'll notice is that while I'm using the skill, whee, I move a little bit faster. Eldegoss has a lot of different speed skills, if you haven't noticed. Very fast little poof ball. And then this is actually a really good segue into talking about stats. So if I go ahead and I take a look over here and look at the stats. So Eldegoss has about 8,002 HP, 200 defense, and 149 special defense. So a pretty decent amount of HP, but pretty low defense. However, Cotton Spore Plus will increase your defense and special defense by about that much. So we got an extra 80 defense, and we got about an extra, I don't know, do the math, 59 special defense with no items attached. And as long as we're on the topic of stats, let's go into the basic attack side of things, because there's some interesting things happening with the basic attacks on Eldegoss. So Eldegoss's basic attack does 310 damage, and that 310 damage is expressed as physical damage. That is the same thing for all the Pokemon in the game except for Wigglytuff and Blissey. They both still use their physical attack stat for their basic attack, but it's expressed as special attack for some reason. But Eldegoss's physical attack is 310, and it's expressed as physical attack. But there's something else going on with their physical attack that's very interesting. So if we go ahead and we hit their boosted attack here, so 1, and then a 2, and then a boosty, you'll see we get a big chunk of damage there, but you can maybe kind of see that little green puffball above the substitute doll's head here. It'll be easier to see over here. Boom, and then boom, and then boom. You see that green poofball? You ever wonder what that was? Well, that's because they got hit by the boosted attack from Eldegoss. And what that'll do is it'll make it so future basic attacks from Eldegoss do more damage. So if I go ahead and I do this, I go ba-boop, and then ba-boop, and then ba-boop. You'll see we're going to hit that 310, but also something else with it. So it does quite a bit extra damage. And then I'm pretty certain it will also reduce the movement speed of whoever it hits. So let me charge you up here, and then bring this over here. And then you'll see that they actually get their movement speed decreased if I hit them with another basic attack while they're affected by that pollen puff thing above their head. You can see the little animation underneath the APOM here. Here, I'll do it one more time in case you missed it here. I'll go ba-bam, and then ba-bam, and then I'll hit the APOM here, and then I'll hit him with the basic, and you'll see that little animation underneath. That means their movement speed was slightly decreased. And then very quickly, let's go ahead and take a look at Eldegoss's other stats that you can't quite see right away. So if we go to level 15 here, what you'll notice is that Eldegoss ends up getting a cooldown reduction as they level up. And you'll also notice that their special attack is 670, which is pretty high. And again, a lot of these skills scale off a special attack, including the healing and the shields. So that's really the big thing to take away from here, is that the healing and the shields do a lot. And also their Unite move scales a lot off of the special attack value that Eldegoss has. So if you want to put on something like the score specs, might be worth considering. And now let's move on to the part of Eldegoss that I think always catches people off guard if they don't understand Eldegoss, and that's their passive. So what their passive does is it does several things, but if Eldegoss takes enough damage in one blow, they will heal, they will gain increased movement speed, and they will damage their enemy, and that enemy will have decreased movement speed for a short period of time. So I'm going to let Blastoise blow into me here, and you'll see I'm going to do a little animation where I swirl up into the air, and that'll mean that I'm healing. And you'll also see the healing number pop up, and you'll see I'll move a little bit faster, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and let him rip. Go crazy, buddy. Ba-boom! And you see I heal for 600, and I popped up into the air for a little bit. Well, that pop up into the air was because he slammed me. Now, a couple of things that I think you might have as questions for this skill, and one of those is cooldown. The cooldown from my testing is 10 seconds. I tried 5 seconds, it didn't work. I tried 10 seconds, it worked. I tried 9 seconds, it didn't work. So to me, that means 10 seconds. Also, it will work multiple times within one combat from my testing. I made it so Blastoise kept hitting me here, but I did not die, and I also did not leave combat. I did manage to get the skill to proc again after 10 seconds. And again, this has to be one big chunk of damage in order to make it happen. I had the bees sit here and pretty much melt me from 100 to 0, and the skill never went off. So it has to be a big chunk of damage, kind of like Rocky Helmet in that respect. So if you've ever tried taking an Eldegoss and they just won't go down, it's because they have a pretty good toolkit for it. Their passive can heal them, Cotton Guard can heal them and also give them a shield, and Pollen Puff can heal them. Heck, they could be sitting on one of these. There's a lot of reasons why Eldegoss is very hard to take down. Oh, Eldegoss is just fast, you know, with all the different speed skills that they have. Eldegoss can be a real pain in the butt if you want to try to take them down, especially if you try chasing them. And finally, onto the Unite move. And the Unite move is great. Actually, speaking of Zapdos, I love using it on Zapdos. So what it does is you fly up into the air. Whee! You are invincible. You're sitting on a cloud, and then you pop back down, and you do a bunch of damage, and you heal for a bunch. So to go ahead and take a look at how much damage it does, let's go over here. And we'll pop down. You can cancel this early if you want to, by the way. Does about 2,400 damage, which is pretty significant, especially if you go ahead and use something like the score specs to get a little bit more out of it, because it has a great damage modifier based off of your special attack. This skill is great for Zapdos. If Zapdos starts getting low, it does so much. Reason being is that you're invincible. Nothing in the whole game can mess with you while you're invincible. Not even Slowbro's ultimate. Invincible is a higher level than unstoppable. So this gives you a lot of opportunity to see when exactly you want to go boom and eat some chicken legs. So I love this skill, especially for stealing Zapdos. But again, anybody who's within the area of effect here, they're going to take damage or they're going to heal based off of what side of the team they're on. I believe this skill can fly over things too.
5, 4,
Hey, let's take a look.
3, 2,
Ba-bam.
1.
Oh yeah, you can totally fly over stuff.
Time's up.
Something to keep in mind. You can fly over that separate area over there. And now for items on Eldegoss, it's going to depend a lot on your playstyle. So if you like to stay at range a little bit, you might want to consider the Muscle Band so you can provide a little bit more damage to the team, especially since Eldegoss does get that bonus from their basic attacks. This can help complement that. If you run Buddy Barrier, you're not going to benefit from Buddy Barrier at all because you're invincible during it. You're already going to heal a bunch. Buddy Barrier would not be for you. It would be for your teammates. You can consider it, but you're not going to really benefit from it. So you could consider running something like Focus Band if you want a little bit more survivability. You could go ahead and go a little bit more offensive. A lot of people also like to run EXP share and then let their laner get all the last hits. So Eldegoss is still going to be leveling up due to the EXP share, but it also makes it so, let's say you have like a Gardevoir or a Garchomp or a Mamoswine who really needs a lot of levels, or heck, even Blastoise to get them charged up pretty quickly so they can get the Unite mover like Venusaur. This could be really nice in lane with them to make it so that they can level up faster. Another thing you could pick is an offensive item. So I really like the score specs because not only is it going to increase the damage on some of my good modifier skills, It's also going to increase the shields and the healing, which is a big deal. And, like I said before, it's really good on the Unite move, which makes it even better when you try to come steal Zapdos. And this whole game revolves around who gets Zapdos anyway, or at least the majority of it does in most games. So being able to make it so you get Zapdos just a little bit more likely can be really nice. Or if you want to be a little bit more offensive, you could try out the choice specs comboed up with your score specs here, because they have a decent value on their default special attack value. Choice specs could be okay. But yeah, it's really up to you on that third item. If you want to be a little bit more helpful with your leveling, go ahead and EXP share. You could go, again, Buddy Barrier is never a bad choice on any Pokemon. Really up to you. But I really like Muscle Band and Score Specs, and then third item, do what you want. We do viewer games almost every single night on twitch.tv/SwingPoint. I'd love to see you guys over there. Also, if you're on SwingPoint, go ahead and check out Pokemon Unite Guides by SwingPoint for exclusive Pokemon Unite videos, and also just Pokemon Unite videos in case you don't want to see the other stuff on SwingPoint. If you guys learned anything, please let me know and consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me, and it means that I'm doing some of the right things around here. And if you guys have anything to add, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys. You guys are the best, and I'll see you in the next video that we do around here.